Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Round 3 of the Thursday GT4 Championship. Takes us to Brands Hatch, where it will be a 15-minute qualifying session, followed by what is expected to be a 40-minute race around this wonderful racetrack of Brands Hatch. Venue for a lot of events. And we'll look to see some drivers set some lap times to determine the grid for today's race. So as we watch Drifter, who's in tonight. Just looking to see who he is in place of. So Drifter is in the BMW. So what can Drifter do here? Well, he's on his out lap at the moment, so we'll stay with him for a lap and see how he gets on here. So Drifter in the BMW. The team he's racing for is called Scuderia Lang. So he comes through Druids and down towards Graham Hill Bend. Then he's on the Cooper Straight. It will take him towards the left-hander of Surtees, and then through the extended layout of this Brands Hatch circuit, through a Pilgrim's Drop, then Hawthorne, which is right-hander, then the Derek Minter Straight, Westfield, Dingledell, and Sheens, the left-hander of Sterling's, then the back straight of Clear Rays, and then the Jim Clark Curve, and then the Brabham Straight, which is the pit straight, for your information, to round off the lap. Well, Drifter at the moment, as we go on board with him, you can hear the engine revving as he comes towards what looks like Sheens. He's gone through, and then into the left-hander of Sterling's, riding over the curbs. In terms of lap times, we should expect him to be around about in the 1 minute 32s, maybe even faster than that. So it's a 1:32.6, which puts him to the top for now. We want to have a look to see how the others are getting on. So, who is close to finishing the lap? We've got the 22, that is Hutch, who's coming round in the Chevrolet. He's gone over the line to start a flying lap now. So we'll just look at Will Freeman actually. He's gone to second fastest on a 1:33.8. And it's Omroz who's behind. There's Cheese Monkey going third. And Cheese Monkey, who is currently sitting in the championship standings in second place with 93 points to his name. There were 2 races last week at Alton Park, for your information. Cheese Monkey finished in the first of those in 4th place. In race 2, he won out over Chrissy's by a long way. So Cheese Monkey in good form at the moment. And also in Donington, the one race that we did 2 weeks ago, he was 5th. So he's finished in the top 5 in all 3 races so far, has Cheese Monkey, and they'll be looking to keep that run going. The championship leader so far is Will Freeman, who has 100 points. Third in Donington And then in race 1 in Alton Park, he was 2nd and 3rd in race 2. So on the podium in all 3 races so far, Will Freeman will be looking to continue that form. Drifter is top at the moment on a 1:32.3. Now, Drifter didn't compete in the opening 2 rounds, so this is pretty much a road to recovery if he is going to be involved a lot more often in this particular category in the Formula Racing League. There's Marty coming over the line as well, and he's gone up to 3rd place on a 1:33.0. He's just been displaced actually by what looks like Freeman has just gone P2. So Freeman posting a good time. Simon just coming around Surtees. And there's Mr. Error in 8th. Kevin in 9th in the BMW. And Timmy Blunder in 6th position right now. Just 2 drivers have yet to post lap times at the present moment. They are Marpa, who we are with. We'll get a better angle actually of how he goes about tackling the remainder of the lap. He's actually on an out lap, so we'll come away from him and we'll go to Hutch next. He's just coming round the left-hander of Sterling's. So coming down the Hawthorne straight, and Hutch posts his first time of the session, which puts him to 14th on a 1:34.3. Now Hutch is currently 16th in the standings with 20 points. And looking at the team's championship, Reptile Racing Team are ahead on 149 points. Now, the Reptile Racing Team, for your information, have Simon and Omar Oz, or Omroz. Now, Omroz is in 16th place right now. I'm just looking to see where the others are. So Simon's 4th. He's in the pits at the moment, so he's not out on track setting any fast lap times. There is Marpat, who will stay with. He's on an invalidated lap time. We haven't seen him compete this season yet. Now, just going back to what I was saying about the team standings. 2nd position are Pocket Rockets Racing with 135. Will Freeman and Marek Mariola are the 2 drivers in that. Racing in McLarens. Simon and Omroz are racing in BMWs. So a ride on board with Marpat as he enters Graham Hill Bend. He's on the grass as he approaches Surtees. He's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so may as well come away from him. So there's Simon, who is going for pole here. 1:32.9. It's nearly a whole second off the pace to Drifter. And Simon's gone off track, so may as well come away from him. Freeman's had a good session so far in 3rd place. The stuff he's on is not currently faster than what he posted last time. Let's see if he can find any time in the remainder of this one. He's got just over 5 minutes remaining. Riding the curbs. Getting a little bit of time through that. I think this is only going to be a very small improvement for Freeman. It's not going to move him up the order. He's half a second off Freeman in 2nd position. coming out of clearways. And there's a yellow flag out there. I'm not sure what that is all about. I think it's cleared away quickly anyway. Well, it's a 1 minute. I don't think that was an improvement, actually. He missed out by over a couple of tenths. Actually, a car in the gravel trap there. Is that? It's one of the black livery. It looks like the 76 of Timmy Blunder, who had gone off track. And it was so. So it's Freeman in second place. Going down to Hawthorns to see him complete this lap. Does he improve on his time? He does not. So he remains in P2. There's Rage Hunter over the line. Doesn't improve his lap time. Cheese Monkey only 11th at the moment, so we'll stay with him. It seems to be... it's touch and go as to whether he will improve at all. Now, this is a very tricky section to get right, actually. Which is Westfield. And then through Sheens. Touching the grass there on the exit. He's overdone Sterling's there and he's backed out of it. So Cheese Monkey just giving himself some space before he decides to go again. Now we'll go to Mariola, who is only 12th at the present moment. He's on an outlap actually, so we'll come away from him. Less than 2.5 minutes to go. Any driver on a fast lap, once the checker flag has fallen, can complete it. But it's looking good for Drifter right now. Top of the pile. Yellow flag being waved there. Doesn't look like Cooper in the 101 is going to go quicker. If he is going to go quicker, it's only going to be by a few thousandths, but I don't think he's even close to achieving that. So he remains in 16th place. So Freeman in third. On course for a tidy lap here. It's still not quicker than before and remains in third. And Simon in fourth place. Chris, who we've not seen any of during this session so far, we'll see how he's getting on. He's improving throughout this one. Now Chris, who just looking to see, I think he won one of the races. No, he didn't. He had a torrid time in Alton Park in one of the races, but is second in the second one. He doesn't improve his time though, and remains currently in 6th place. There is Rage Hunter. We've been looking to improve, but I don't think he's going to improve this time, so we'll come away from him. Now Kevin in the BMW. He's improving throughout this lap. Coming through Hawthorns and then Sheens. I think maybe in Westfield he was going through. This is Sheens. He's improving by 4/10 on this lap, is Kevin. So this could move him up the order. Maybe even to the top 5 if he's lucky enough. So Kevin coming down the pit straight of the Brabham straight, not the Hawthorne straight. I think I got mixed up between the two. He goes 5th fastest with a 1:32.9. So that's a very nice time there for Kevin. Now, is anyone else improving out on circuit? Well, Error is on a flying lap. We're not able to go on board with him because the checker flag has fallen. What about Rage Hunter? I don't know if he is actually improving. So Rage Hunter approaching the line now. Does he improve his time? Not quite so. So he remains in 10th. The session has ended. So after all that, Drifter is on pole position in the BMW with Freeman in 2nd place. And then it's a BMW 3, 4, 5 and 6 with Simon heading Freeman, Kevin and Marty. Chrisese is 7th in the Chevrolet, followed by Timmy Blunder and Error. Rage Hunter running up the top 10. Cheese Monkey is 11th ahead of Mariola, so Cheese Monkey with quite a bit of work to do, but it is a 40-minute race, so plenty of time for him to make up ground. Onros and GTJ on row 7 with Daz Parker and Hutch on the 8th row, and at the back we have Cooper and Marpat. So just looking at the times throughout that session, you can see Drifter doing a very nice job. Purple in sectors 2 and 3. Freeman was fastest in sector 1, but only by a few hundredths. Nearly 4/10 was the difference between those two. Chrisese will be somewhat perplexed, is what I was meant to be saying, by his qualifying effort. So I don't know what he'll be looking out for in the race. So there's Cooper in 17th place with Marpat down at the back, less than 3 seconds separating the field. So it'll be a 40-minute race here at Donington. There is Drifter on pole position. We've just got a couple of minutes before the field go off for their formation lap, and then it'll be a rolling start for the beginning of this 40-minute race. In terms of how many laps we'll end up doing, just working out my maths. So it's like a minute and a half for each lap, or just over that by a couple of seconds. So I would say it's going to be around about 26 or 27 laps for this one. If we were racing on the Indy layout, it'd be a whole lot more. So it's around about that figure. So drivers just need to be taking precaution as to how many laps they'll end up doing in terms of how many or how much fuel they'll be going on board. They'll be taking on board, because once they do run out of fuel, that is it. That's their race run. And there's going to be a mandatory pit stop as well for tyres. So they can come in at any point once the pit window does open, which I believe is after lap 1, if I remember correctly. So if you have joined us, we do welcome you. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Be good to hear how your day has been, how your week has been. And if you're looking forward to the action in Qatar this weekend for Formula One's inaugural visit. So Freeman and Marty having a particular fan watching, and it's the same with another one for Marty and Freeman. So it seems to be a good fan base they're having for tonight. So here we go for the start of the formation lap. As the pole sitter Freeman will lead the field round the formation lap. Here we go, look. It looks like a 17 car field as well. It looks like one of those at the back has dropped out of it. It may have been Marpat. We should still expect to see some good racing here at Brands Hatch. Home to one of the rounds in the British Touring Car Championship. Last hosted Formula 1, hosted many years of Formula 1 when it used to alternate, with Silverstone as host of the British Grand Prix from the 60s all the way up to 1986. 1986 was the last year that Brands Hatch hosted a Formula 1 Grand Prix. And it's played host to a lot of club car racing and touring car racing. DTM have raced here in the past, as have A1GP, the World Cup of Motorsport. Who can remember that? And of course, the W Series finale in 2019 that saw Jamie Chadwick crowned the inaugural champion. It's a lovely racetrack as well. Too narrow, I would say, for the modern day world of Formula 1. But when there isn't any Formula 1 action happening on a race weekend, what better than watching some touring car racing at Brands Hatch, or whatever racing it may be, at this circuit that is located in the county of Kent, which is somewhere in southeast England. The field are ready to go for the start of this one. They're forming in rows of 2. 17 in action. Can Drifter lead the field round and take a comfortable victory, or can the likes of Freeman, Simon and Freeman have anything to say on that? You can see the bollards being moved over there by Freeman. That won't affect the cars handling too much. So the field, once they cross over the line, the race will begin. And so we are underway now for the start of this race here in Brands Hatch. So Drifter leads with Freeman looking to make amends in P2. And then we've got Simon and Freeman going side by side into Paddock Hill Bend. Freeman running wide there in the BMW, whilst looks like his teammate Kevin is alongside in 5th position. And we've got Marty and Chrisese in 6th and 7th. Chrisese looking to make amends, going right round the outside of Marty as they go through Graham Hill Bend. Chrisese runs wide, and that's going to allow Blunder to close right in on him. You can see the sector times. They're just going through the first sector, which is just on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. So it looks like no collision so far. Jostling for position right now with Chrisese in 7th place, still behind Marty. But at the front, it's Drifter who still leads from Freeman in 2nd place. Then it's Simon in 3rd with Freeman, Kevin, Marty and Chrisese next behind. Blunder, Monkey and Error rounding out the top 10 so far. So Monkey doing a fine job so far, making up a couple of positions. Rage Hunter in 11th place. So it's a 40-minute race. We're expected to be around 26 or 27 laps with a mandatory pit stop involved. So there is Drifter continuing to head out in front, completing lap 1 on the Brabham Straight in the lead. So Simon in P3, just to see if there's any battling going on. There's Blunder under threat from the Ginetta of Cheese Monkey. Now Cheese Monkey, who's racing for the Auto Butchers team. He's the only representative in that team at the moment, so he's going to do his best to carry the team forward as the season progresses. There's Mr. Error under threat here from Rage Hunter. As Rage Hunter continuing to hold on to 11th position, while Cheese Monkey is in 9th behind Blunder. Chrissys and Marty are up ahead of him. As you can see, Freeman in 2nd position behind Drifter. And it looks like Hutch and Cooper have dropped back. I don't know if they came together on that lap, but they've dropped back anyhow. There's Monkey right behind Blunder in the battle over 8th place. Chrissys is holding position ahead of them. So Marty in 6th position, with Kevin in 5th, who's dropped back from the top 4, who are nose to tail. Drifter 8/10 clear of Freeman in the 1st sector. So it's Marty in 6th behind Kevin. Cheese Monkey in 9th, with Error ahead of Rage Hunter. And there's Onmoz in 14th place. He seems to have picked up some damage there. He's obviously scraped that BMW somewhere. That's Parker in 15th place, and this Hutch can see some damage to the bonnet that's taken a hit. I would think Cooper has picked up some damage as well. He's obviously had a bit of a dent to his machine. It looks like Rage Hunter has got in front of Error now. Oh, he's come together though, look. So Error's come together with Mariola. Both have dropped down the order. So both rejoin, with Error moving back in front of Mariola. They've both dropped down to 14th and 15th places now, I believe. So there's Marty in 6th position behind Kevin as they come out of clearways and onto the Brabham Straight. And down the inside goes Marty, and that's a very clean textbook manoeuvre into Paddock Hill Bend to go up into 5th position. The Drifter in the race lead. It's sole representative for the Scuderia Lang squad. His lead over Freeman's 1.9 seconds. So there's Kevin in 6th place. Chrissy's holding off Monkey. He's managed to get in front of Rage Hunter, but he managed to benefit from Timmy Blunder. I think has made a mistake somewhere, so Cheese Monkey through into 8th position. Now the championship gap at the top coming into this one in the driver's standings is that Freeman 7 points clear of Cheese Monkey, so as it stands Freeman would be collecting 32 points, whilst Cheese Monkey in 8th place will be getting only 12. And with Simon up there in 3rd place, Simon would move up into 2nd place in the championship order. They'd lose ground to Freeman by 6 points, so the gap at the top would be 14 points, with Simon displacing Monkey. And looking at Freeman, look, dive into the inside there of Simon. There was a slight glitch with the game itself there, but Freeman is able to avoid contact. Now he's thinking about moving to Graham Hill Bend. Simon needs to know that he's there. Leaves him enough room. Simon runs out wide on the exit of the turn. Freeman is going to have the inside alive, and the next left-hander, that is Surtees, wisely backs out of it. He knows it's not really the corner to complete the overtake at, but he's still going to be there. He'll have more speed down this back straight before they get to Hawthorns. And Cressys is in the pits for his mandatory pit stop. Oh, they're still coming together between Freeman and Simon. They've come together at Hawthorns. That was bound to happen at some point, and they've come together. Simon won't be too pleased with that. And he's dropped down the order big time. He stays out of everyone else's way. And it looks like Cressys has retired somewhat, so Cressys is out of the race. That's another race without points, unfortunately for him. So I don't know if he's had contact somewhere, but either way, his race is over. So Simon down to 9th place after that contact. Freeman is still in, well, it's shown that Freeman's in 3rd place, but he's not anymore now because there's one of the, just trying to see who that is, that Marty ahead of him. It is, so Freeman is in 4th position, showing on the leaderboard now, so Marty able to gain a couple of positions thanks to the melodies involving Freeman and Simon. So Drifter leads with Freeman in P2. It's Marty who makes a mistake. Oh, he's going to make contact there with Freeman. That's Freeman's 2nd collision in the space of a lap. Marty's car is damaged. The bonnet is lifted open. Now Freeman's carried on. There was contact. And now he's got Kevin right behind him. So you can see the 2 Overdose Racing cars in 3rd and 4th places. Rage Hunter in 5th place. Tim Blunder in 6th. And it looks like Mr. Error's also gone for a spin. And there's Marty in 14th position now. He must really think about coming into the pits to get that car repaired. Parker's moved up to 9th. Nearly 11 minutes into the race. 7 laps done now for Drifter. Looking very, very good to take victory. The gap is 2.8 seconds, and then Freeman 9 seconds off Freeman in 3rd place. So Freeman going after Friedman. Try not to trip yourself up over those 2 names. There's Kevin in 4th ahead of Rage Hunter, with Timmy Blunder in 6th place. GTJ, who have not spoken too much about throughout tonight, he's in 7th place. Simon in 8th after that coming together with Freeman a couple of laps ago. And Marty's into the pits. He's down at the back anyway, so I think he must be thinking may as well get this mandatory pit stop out of the way. just look to see if that does fix the damage. Cooper and Error are also in. Now, Omroz is right behind Mariola in the battle for 10th. Now, Cheese Monkey's dropped back. He's obviously made a mistake somewhere. He's down in 12th position. So Drifter's coming round and he's lapped those who've just pitted. But it won't be too long before the leaders do come in for their stops. Oh, and that's Mariola's gone for a spin on the exit of what looks like Sterling's. He's coming through clearways now, so Mariola's gone for a spin. I don't know if he's had contact with someone, but he's fallen down to 13th after that. As it looks like Cooper's still in the pits, actually. He's been in the pits for a long time. He's coming out back on track now. Marty and Error have also just rejoined the track, so could it be that it's a long time to be in the pits, you know, for over a lap or so? Not 100% sure. So Drifter in P1. 3.6 seconds is the gap now. Freeman and Kevin still nose to tail in 3rd and 4th. Rage Hunter ahead of Timmy Blunder. No blunders from him so far. And sliding his way there through Westfield. Or Sheen's corner, I should say. Drifter on his 10th lap now. Is there anyone else thinking about pitting? And GTJ ahead of Simon. Parker is coming in now in the 237. Now Parker, who is just looking to see which team he's racing for. It doesn't appear he's racing for a particular team out there, so could well be just serving as a guest driver unless I'm mistaken. He's either way in the pits. He's out on his way. He wasn't in there anywhere near as long as Marty, Error or Cooper, so he rejoins in 13th place. So whilst we're waiting for the leaders to begin making their mandatory pit stops, we'll run through the calendar as to which venues Group 1 will be racing at this season in the FRL GT4 on the Thursday. So next week we'll be racing at Laguna Seca, the first venue outside of Britain. We've already raced at Donington, Alton Park and Brands Hatch today. Laguna Seca next week, and then it's Misano on the 2nd of December with Imola on the 9th, which will be a 90-minute race with double points on offer. And it's Kyalami on the 16th, and then we don't race until the new year. On the 6th, we race in Bathurst, Paul Ricard on the 13th, and then Barcelona, which will host 2 races, just like Alton Park did last week. So we're nearly at the halfway point in this race now. Drifter's lead is increased to 4.1 seconds over Friedman, who looks content in 2nd position. He may feel that 2nd is the best he can achieve in this race now, unless anything happens to Drifter. And looks like Blunder, Simon and Mariola are in the pits. And Daz Parker is coming through. He'll get back ahead of Blunder. And he He's now in 10th position. Simon also coming out of the pits. Mario hasn't exited his box yet. He'll be a long way ahead of Marty, Error and Cooper, no problem. .6 seconds the gap between Drifter and Freeman, so Drifter really pulling out all the stops at the moment. So there's Rage Hunter in 5th place. Kevin ahead. Rage Hunter having a good time of it all. Racing for the PM3 squad of BMW. His teammate being Marty. And Marty's had his shenanigans earlier on. He's running in 14th place, so it's unlikely he'll get a humongous number of points. He's on course for 2 as it stands. So as the point system works. I think I'm mistaken, actually. The point system is that there's 40 points for the win, 36 for second, 32 for third, 28 for fourth. And I think if everyone finishes, they all get points. So it's different to what it is in to another league that involves the Formula Racing League. And Rage Hunter. Thinking about a move. Will he go for it into Paddock Hill Bend? He's on the outside as they approach turn 1 here. No way through for Rage Hunter right now. So he waits behind Kevin. GTJ and Monkey next behind in 6th and 7th, but they've yet to come into the pits for their mandatory pit stops. So the 999 of Simon almost about to be lapped by the race leader. So there's the leader who's coming towards clearways. And I think this is going to be him coming into the pits at the end of the start. So 20 minutes in. And Friedman stays out there for another lap. And who else is in the pits there? That is Hutch, who's just exited his box now. So this is a chance for Drifter to get a decent pit stop here. Friedman also in the BMW. And there's Kevin and Rage Hunter going into combat once more. So Drifter down to 4th place at the moment. And Freeman coming into his box now. So the 114, I think it is, or is it the 324? I think that's Cheese Monkey's just come in. So Drifter, Freeman and Monkey all in. And Onmoz is coming through. So Des Parker is far too behind, so way too far behind, I should say. With Drifter exiting the pits in 6th position. And what will Freeman decide to do here now? Finding time anywhere he can at the moment. And so 1 lap after Drifter came in, it's now Freeman's turn. Can he get a better pit stop than his rival. And Kevin, don't think he's going to be able to hold off Rage Hunter this time, although Rage Hunter is coming into the pits now. Ooh, did he come in a bit too quickly there? It looks like he got in under the limits of 50-mile-an-hour pit lane speed limit here at Brands. Now we watch Drifter. You can see on the map on the bottom right, it's that red dot which is coming through Sterling's. And Freeman is still in his box. I would expect Drifter to take back the lead here. What about Freeman? He's exited his box now, so this is actually going to be quite close, you know. Drifter is coming on the pit straight. I think he's just going to go back in front. But no, he's not. Freeman's ahead of him. So Freeman, remarkably, is able to complete the overcut and rejoin what is effectively the race lead ahead of Drifter. Marvellous stuff there from the McLaren pilot. As Kevin will look to do something similar, although he's not going to be travelling the leaders any time soon. I think his target would pretty much be going for a podium. Only 4 drivers have yet to make a pit stop. They are Kevin, GTJ, Omroz and Parker. As GTJ comes in from 2nd position. Can he complete the best of pit stops here, I wonder? It's quite remarkable that Freeman got in front of Drifter, because he was over 5 seconds behind before Drifter came in for his pit stop. And that's Simon, I believe, coming into the pits. No, it's Omroz, actually. That's his teammate, Omroz, who's in. So GTJ still in his box right now. And look at this. Drifter all over the back of Freeman. So the battle for the race victory is far from over right now. There's Freeman in 4th place. Parker should go in front here, although he is still yet to pit in this race. So Kevin coming out of Sterling's. Now, will he decide to pit in this lap, or will he go a little bit longer? Got 15 minutes to go now in tonight's action. And it's looking very, very good for Freeman, who is still ahead of Drifter, but Drifter's right on his tail, so we could see a ding-dong battle right to the checkered flag. Kevin into the pits. Now, he won't keep hold of the lead, but can he get out in front of Freeman? Well, there are your leaders coming through to complete lap 16. Kevin's still in his box. Freeman's coming out of clearways and onto the Brabham Straight, so I'd expect him to be in front of Kevin, who's still not exited his box yet. So Freeman is through. What about Rage Hunter? Because that's the man that Kevin's fighting with. I think Kevin's going to get out in front of him, no problem. So Kevin rejoins in 4th position. And Drifter half a second behind. Drifter behind Freeman as they come towards Hawthorns. And then the next right-hander of Westfield. And then Sheen's. And then the left-hander of Sterling's. and then clearaways, and then the Brabham straights conclude the lap. It's a lovely flowing racetrack here as Brands Hatch. Now Des Parker is showing that he's yet to come into the pits. I thought he had already pitted, unless I'm mistaken. Either way, he's in 7th position. Simon Bonda up there in 6th. So it's a nice position that Friedman's got himself in. Only 2 drivers lapped in this race, Cooper and GTJ. I think GTJ is still in the pits, actually. He hasn't gone any further, so that could be him out of the running for points. Cooper's still going, albeit 2 laps down now, I think, on the leaders, or 1 lap down. I think he's only 1 lap down. Got just over 12 minutes to go. And Simon's right behind Parker now, as they come up to Druids. And there's Kevin putting a lap on what looks like, just trying to recognise to see who that is. It looks like Cooper is just staying out of the way. There's Freeman. Look at this. You don't even need to tell what the gap is between these two. You can see it in your picture. Freeman and Drifter, 1 and 2. And to my calculations, I believe we'll have 8 more laps off this race. So it's expected to be a 26 lap event. When the clock reaches 0, the next time the race leader crosses the start-finish line will be the checkered flag. So Drifter still behind as they come up to Surtees. Freeman on his own in 3rd place, Kevin in 4th, able to retain his margin over Hunter, with Blunder in 6th place. Simon getting ahead of Des Parker now for 7th place, so Simon beginning to make more of a recovery drive, but he had hoped for more before this race started. There's Hutch, doing rather well actually in the Chevrolet in 10th place after starting towards the back. It's got a bit of damage on his bonnet though, so that won't do the aerodynamics of the car too good. And Marty behind Omroz in the battle for P11. And here are your top 2 into the final quarter of this race. Now the fastest lap of the race so far, that's something I'm wanting to find out actually. I don't think I've got quite that information at the moment, so we'll just come away from that for now. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if the likes of Freeman and Drifter have been the fastest throughout this one. They're coming up behind the 666 of Error to lap. We'll go on board with Drifter. We've been focusing on so much action, or action I should say. So we're having a look at the onboard from Drifter's point of view as the coat come through Hawthorns. So you can see Error up ahead in the yellow liveried car through Westfield. You can see Drifter taking a slightly different line there to see if he can gain as much time as possible. You don't want to be exceeding track limits too many times, as that can lead to a time penalty later on. I think at this stage of the race, that is something he can ill afford to have. So Drifter still behind. It's a lovely camera angle, that. We'll go for a helicam. Why not? Oh, an error's gone off track. At least he stays out of the way of the leaders, so at least that's a little bit of consolation for him. And Freeman, 15 seconds behind Drifter now, so he's very much on his own there in third place. But Freeman looking very, very good to take victory here in Brands Hatch. He has yet to taste victory this season, despite finishing either second or third in the opening 3 races. He's about to make it P1 here today, but Drifter's not giving up. He's thinking about a move here, look, to the inside as they approach Westfield. Couldn't quite go for it from there. It's too quick of a corner to get an overtake done. And now Drifter on the racing line as they come down through clearways. And Drifter should think maybe about having a go through Paddock Hill Bend, but I don't think he's quite close enough to even think about making an overtake there. No, he's too far back, so Freeman stays in front for now. In terms of the other battles, Mariolo's just ahead of Onros in the battle over 11th place. Marty's in 10th now. He's 8.4 behind Hutch at the moment. So not sure if he's going to have enough time to catch him, really. And Cheese Monkey, who won last week at Alton Park, he won the second of the 2 races there. He's running in a lonely 8th position. We've got over 5 minutes remaining here in Brands Hatch. It's just the 1 race tonight, unlike last week at Alton Park where we had 2. So looking very comfortable. I think Freeman's pulling out now. I think Drifter's just pushing a little bit too hard through the fast bends of Hawthorns, Westfield, Sheens and Sterlings. He just cannot get close enough to have a go. So second place could be, well, what he is having to settle for. But it's still not over yet. 5 minutes to go. And we'll have 4 laps to do. 4 more laps to do. This is a nice onboard view, actually, to see how Drifter is getting on in the cockpit, and it looks like someone has had a moment there. We'll come away to see what that was. It's cleared away very quickly anyway. Not sure who it was that's had a moment. Look at this. Drifter right back on the gearbox of Freeman. This is getting intense now between these two. Hopefully they'll keep it clean. What a remarkable performance it's been from these two in a league of their own. And Drifter thinking about a move there. He's trying to do everything he can to distract the McLaren ahead. And there is a yellow flag somewhere. Looks like... who's gone off there? Looks like one of the... is that Cooper who's gone off track there on the straight there coming out of Graham Hill Bend. It is. So he's lost a lot of time. We'll go back to the lead here because Drifter's thinking about a move. Freeman running a little bit wide there on the exit of Druids. Drifter not able to take advantage and get ahead. Freeman running wide again on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. Drifter's on the inside, look, here into Surtees, and Drifter's through. So Drifter, with less than 3 minutes to go, leads in Brands Hatch. And could that be the decisive moment in this race? Freeman not giving up by any stretch. Trying everything he can through Hawthorns there, look. So close to the gearbox. I want to get an onboard shot here because these two are going to go hammer and tong. We looked at the driver's eye of Freeman as he comes out of Westfield and through Sheens. Look at the line of which Drifter is taking. So you approach Sterling's. Oh, he got a bit too close there. Drifter running out wide. And now Freeman fancying a go back through. We've got 2 more laps to go once these two go past the line. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Looking very, very good now for Drifter. Very nice move to get back into the lead after Friedman completed an overcut on him during the round of pit stops. And that's Freeman running too far out wide. And I think in terms of the battle for the race victory, that may well decide it. And Freeman carrying too much speed, gathering too much wheel spin on the exit. And I think that's the end of that battle now. So Drifter, providing he keeps his car on track, is going to take victory here in Brands Hatch. And looking at Rage Hunter, because he's right behind Kevin now in the battle over 4th place, taking all the curb and then some. Thinks about a move to the inside into Druids. Rage Hunter to the inside. Surely he's through there ahead of the sister BMW. But Kevin's not giving up by any means. He's got the inside line into Graham Hill Bend. Rage are carrying too much curb on the entry. And so he has to settle for 5th place. We are now into the last minute of this race. The next time Drifter crosses over the start-finish line will be the start of the final lap. And another battle going on between Error and Parker over 13th place. Parker did come in for his mandatory pit stop, so he's dropped down the order. At least he's still on course to get points for finishing. And so Drifter is now starting the last lap of this race in Thursday GT4 GT4 Thursday Group 1 in the Formula Racing League, round 3 of the championship. And it's been a superlative performance from Drifter. Never gave in before he got a move on Friedman at Surtees corner. And the team will be absolutely delighted. Rage Hunter still behind Kevin, and watch out for Timmy Blunder as well, because he's closing in on these two in the Mercedes. And it looks like Cooper's pulled off the track there. I think he's just staying out of the way of those behind him. Doesn't want to intervene with that battle. Into the outer section of this Brands Hatch circuit. And so Drifter, on his first appearance this season, is going to take victory in Brands Hatch. And doing so in style, with Freeman coming out in second. He will still lead the championship after this one. You can see the headlights flashing there. Drifter knows he's on course to come out on top here at Brands. Drifter comes out of Clearways onto the Brabham Straight. And this is going to be a remarkable victory. He laps Onros on the way through. Drifter wins in Brands Hatch in GT4 Thursday in the Formula Racing League in Group 1. Friedman comes through 2 seconds behind in P2. He extends his lead at the top of the championship. And then we go back to Freeman, who's had a bit of a coming together there with one of the back markers. That looks like Error he was coming together with. Not sure what all that was about. But Freeman comes through to take the final podium spot. And then we've got Kevin and Rage Hunter. This is going to be a drag race to the line. Hunter getting a nice exit there. Gets out of shape though. Coming out of Clearways. Over the line they come. Kevin 4th. Hunter 5th. Blunder 6th. Simon just behind in 7th place. And it's going to be Cheese Monkey a long way back in 8th position. Today has been a step backwards for him. in comparison to what we've seen from him in previous weeks. But it's P8 for him. Hutch, who's going to get his best result of the season in 9th, has got Marty right behind him, actually. So this could be an interesting battle right to the very end. Now, can Hutch hold on? Or can Marty get ahead of him? Hutch getting a poor exit coming out of Sterling's. Marty will go to the outside through clearways. He does the switchback on the exit, but I think Hutch is going to hold on here. So Hutch will be 9th. Marty 10th in the BMW with Marek Mariola out of fuel on the last lap, it seems, in 11th place. Yeah, by the sounds of it, he's out of fuel. Probably miscalculated the amount of fuel he needed for this one, but at least he keeps hold of 11th position. So it's a race victory for Drifter here in Brands Hatch, with Freeman in 2nd place, 36 points for him in the championship. With Rage Hunter finishing in 5th position, he will move in front of Cheese Monkey and Simon into 2nd place. And then the number of points you get for finishing 5th when it comes to Assetto Corsa Competizione in the Formula Racing League, it is 25 points for Rage Hunter, 36 for Freeman. So Freeman moves on to 136 points, Rage Hunter moves on to 114. So the gap that Freeman has in the championship now has been extended to 22 points going into the next round of the championship, which will be in Laguna Seca next week. So here's your race result then at the end of that 40-minute race. Drifter wins with Freeman in 2nd place, Freeman 3rd ahead of Kevin and Rage Hunter. Timmy Blunder comes home in 6th ahead of Simon and Cheese Monkey. Hutch and Marty round out the top 10 with Error and Cooper next behind. I think it's showing that Mariola's in 10th. I think that's wrong on the leaderboard there, so that's not what we are seeing. I think that's just the remainder of the drivers left in the lobby. The results will be put out in the Formula Racing League Discord if you are involved in that, and the championship standings will update itself in due course. Thank you very much for watching. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll look to do it all over again in 7 days' time at Laguna Seca to see who will come out on top there. Thank you very much for watching, and do tune in for then. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.